Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Opposing Views with Aini and Christelle. Hi, I'm Aini.
Hello, I'm Christelle. We are here to have open and authentic conversations, even if these conversations may be really difficult to have.
No bullshit, no judgment. Basically, we just want to put everything out there for a good conversation.
So grab your cup of coffee, your tea, or just like me, I'm drinking water, and join us in today's conversation on leadership or management style. So let's get talking.
So last week we talked about workplace bullying, right? And we both kind of feel that a lot of time is the management, the people on top that set the tone, set the culture of the company, and could be positive, negative. So let's talk about managers. You know, your experience with our experience with different type of managers.
In terms of managers, I have a sort of a fair share. Maybe slightly more not so good ones compared to good ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I have very rare encounters with really good managers because in terms of being a manager or a leader, right? It really takes a lot of you really have to know how to manage people, because being a manager or being in a leadership position, it's really about managing people. If you don't have that skill, then most likely you're not able to really do a good job. That's just my own personal take.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
So tell me, what is maybe a terrible experience that you had?
Okay, so I used to work in an F&B setting. So service staff, during dinner time, it's not our dinner time. It's the time where we are serving other customers who are having their dinner or their lunch. So obviously it's a very stressful, hectic situation where there's like customers are like raising their hands every 2 seconds or okay, maybe 2 minutes, and maybe they're asking, oh, can I have ketchup, chili sauce, can I have this, can I have that, can I have napkins, etc. So when it comes to like, we have to work fast, right? And then the managers are like, they're not, this comes back to realistic expectations. They see that, hey, why is this table not clean yet? I have a long line of queue. And then they always shout at us, can you clean the table? And then we're like, oh my god, like, we're short-handed here. There's so many people asking for so many things at the same time. And then they think like it's their job to just shout at you.
So it's like, especially in a stress, it's a situation under stress, right? We look up to our leader. Whether the leader roll up their sleeves and get their hand dirty and do it together as a team, or they just stand there and just lip service, just shout at the staff and you do this, you do that, and they are not doing anything, right? So that kind of leader doesn't inspire us to want to
continue working
or be part of the team, right? You don't inspire to, I want to do better because see, look at my manager, he also is doing it, but because this person is probably just stand there and lip service.
I remember there was one time I was so upset with this manager because she kept shouting at me non-stop during the peak hour. It was so stressful. And I was so fed up that I threw a tantrum. I really couldn't take it because it's like, imagine like half an hour to 45 minutes straight of hearing her voice, and it's like super loud. And it's just like, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm like, oh my god, shut up! So because we are supposed to clear the plates and then go into the kitchen, right? I remember I slammed the tray so hard, the glass broke. I was really I couldn't take it.
Okay.
I just broke down on the spot. And then everyone was so shocked. It was like, when they heard the glass break, right? There was like silence. And then I just broke down. I was like, oh my god, I can't take it anymore.
I think everybody have their breaking point, right? Everybody have their breaking point. So it's really how a person behave under pressure. So if as a leader, if the person cannot hold their so-called
Stress
their
level.
if they
Pressure,
cannot hold
yeah.
their pressure, right? They cannot check themselves, then it's going to
Yeah,
affect everybody
correct.
on the team, right?
Alright. Like you
Yeah.
stress, then you take it on others.
Yeah. So then if you look at a good leader must be somebody who will be able to manage their own state, right? So that they do not, especially under a stressful situation, they don't pass the stress down and
Correct.
then affect the team's performance.
Yeah.
Right? Totally right.
I came across this quote by what's his name? The Virgin Airlines guy.
Richard Branson.
Yes, Richard Branson. Yes, okay, thanks. Richard Branson. So he said this: if you take care of your employees will take care of the business.
Yes.
And that really hit me so much because that is very true. Where if you don't take care of your staff, obviously they won't be motivated to do their work. They won't want to take their job seriously. And then like it's like if you don't take care of them, they do a bad job. And then you blame them. So it's like
it's a vicious cycle.
Correct, it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So it really comes from the manager or the leader, the boss, that is so important. It's really very important. Which I feel that, honestly speaking, we lack a lot.
In our culture?
Yeah. Remember, because based on what we talked about last episode, Singapore has one of the greatest workplace bullying rates.
Yeah, that's right. One of the highest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Actually, I was quite shocked when we were talking about the topic. I tried to find some information. I was quite shocked when I saw that piece of information because I thought, okay, we are all nice people here, right?
We're nice people lah, but maybe work-wise not so nice lah. That's what I always hear from my friends.
Yeah, true. So what is a good manager then? What do you think is a good manager?
Someone that would take care of you.
So you feel that,
I did have good managers back in the F&B place I worked at. So they will really make sure you had your break already. If you want to go toilet, they will ask you want to go toilet, take a break first, rest, go. Other than that, it's really about morale. And if the customers are clearly trying to bully you or trying to pick on things that are like not important, then they will come to your rescue sort of. They'll say, hi, how can I help you? I'm the manager. And then they will ask me to go. They'll protect me sort of.
Yeah. So this is very much like, if something happened, if a mistake has been made, it's not like pushing the responsibility all to the staff.
Yes,
right? It's like,
yes, correct.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm the manager.
Taking care. Yeah.
I also take part of the responsibility of my staff, so I'm here to do service recovery, right? What has gone wrong, and not be there and try to just push the blame to the staff.
Yeah, because some managers did that to me, but some actually, most lah. There were one or two that were, you go and face this customer looking for you, go. And then you're like, huh? Like, oh shit, am I going to get scolded? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But most of the managers actually really would take care of me. They were like, don't worry, I settle for you. So that's what I feel constitute as a good manager. Because someone that you can look up to, you want to learn from. That's character-wise, they're not nasty people. They're really there to take care of you and be a leader because they hold the position and they lead by the example.
Yeah. So this is like the book Leader Eat Last by Simon Sinek. He's a very good motivator, speaker, and he always says, exactly, leader eats last, right? You let you take care of your team first, right? You don't let them go and do whatever and then you're just stand behind.
Yeah.
And you look after your team first. Like I say, if a leader who look after us, inspire us to want to do more, right? Rather than, okay, I just do my bare minimum and I go. Yeah, that's why sometimes in a company culture, staff get disengaged. They get this, their morale is low because if my manager like that, what should I do more than I could do, right? But a good leader can sometimes push us to a level that we never even expect that we can do like that. Because we are so inspired by this person or we are so encouraged by this person that we feel that, hey, I need to do good, to kind of don't let this person down, right? Yeah.
So have you come across good or bad Okay, sorry. Not so good leaders.
Yeah, of course, again, I also started out from F&B background, one of my first jobs.
Yeah.
It was difficult. Again, like I said, there are leaders who just, especially during busy period, they just kind of like don't really look after you, but there are leaders who actually says, okay, come, let's everybody do this together, and then if everybody get down and do it, we'll finish the work faster, right? But later on, actually, what was one incident that was very very stuck for me was I actually joined this Japanese company. It's a very Japanese culture company. So I was actually part of the sales team.
Okay.
And when I joined, I was the most junior. So in a Japanese company, right, their culture is hierarchy is very important, right? So if you are junior, you must serve the senior. So, and gender is also another thing. They always feel that the female should be the one that's supporting the male, but unless you're the top, you're the CEO, you're the boss, you have no choice, right? But if you're just a staff, the tradition is usually, okay, the female staff will support the male staff. So I remember the very first big meeting, not just our office, but involves 3 other branches. So everybody was there in this big sales meeting. And I happened to be the only female staff inside there and the most junior staff. So everybody took their seat. And then the managing director, he's an MD, okay? He's an MD. He's a Japanese. He just said, can you just go and make coffee for everybody? So I was like doing a double take. I'm here as part of the team and I'm not the coffee lady. Why are you asking me to make coffee, right? So I didn't budge. I just sat there. I said, so and so, Mr. So and so, I'm here as part of the sales, and I think if you like to order coffee, maybe you should ask the secretary to order the coffee. Everybody, the whole meeting room, you can hear even the needle, if the needle dropped to the floor. Because nobody ever dare to say that to the MD, right? And then below the MD, the different branches, the managers are all Japanese.
Yeah.
They will never have somebody, a junior staff, say that to because to them is, okay, the senior staff asks you to do something, you just do, right? But to me, I felt that
that's not my job scope.
Yeah, and if
you say yes.
Yeah, if I say I go and make coffee, next time, every time meeting, I become the coffee lady. That's not correct as well.
Yeah.
So I just sat there. So I think he was shocked. Then he pinged his secretary to come into the meeting room and make coffee for everybody. Then I also happily ordered my coffee.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that was so cool.
Yeah, but
honestly.
but that's a Japanese culture, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But of course, I think, I don't know. I mean, I could have handled it otherwise. I was also new to the company. It was a shock to me. There's a culture of the Japanese people, right? I'm not saying that all Japanese companies are like that. That was my personal experience. Let me clarify that. Right? That was my personal experience.
Yeah.
That was many, many, many years ago. But however, again, the leader set the tone. Right? The leader set the tone. So it could be that if the leader always, instead of encourage and groom the junior staff, but you always throw them to do all the
minor
the
tasks that you don't want to do,
or
then,
the not important,
obviously they will follow suit. People who are gonna be promoted will follow
Yes.
the same style.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
And how you going to groom a person if you always just treat the person like this person can't do anything at all, right? Yeah, so yeah, actually now I reflect, but I could have handled it better, in a better way, but I was also young, also very, very this thing about, hey, don't bully me just because I'm a woman, okay? Yeah, so yeah, but that's the culture of the company. Yeah, but you're right to say that it's really the manager that set the tone, right? Everybody follows suit. Yeah. When I myself was promoted in my previous job in F&B, I felt that I cannot put another person through what I went through. Scolding the junior staff in front of the customer, right? No matter how junior the person is, or how junior in terms of year of service or in terms of age, it's the pride, right? It's the pride of the person, right? I come to work and then here I am being scolded like a child in front of the customer.
Humiliation. Yeah, you put them through humiliation.
Yeah, exactly. You humiliate them, right? So, and I've been through that. right? My manager scolded me in front of the customer. It's like, oh no, how can this be, right? And then after that, you just run to the toilet and cry inside the toilet. Yeah. So when I myself I was promoted to manager level, I told myself I can't do that. I can't do that to another person, right? Yeah. So somehow it has to stop, right? So hopefully, right? Yeah, people, if they go through a bad experience, they would not want to repeat that behavior and let another person go through the same thing.
I once had a violent supervisor.
Oh no.
This was my this was during poly. It's also a video production company. So he's someone that will throw chairs at you, throw things at you if he was
that's
angry.
physical violence.
Yeah. So he was a big bully lah. Because it happened to everybody, and including myself. Yeah.
So he sounds like a person who basically just take out his own anger on others around whoever that just happened to be there.
It can be something minor like forgetting, or no, not so forgetting. Being late, 5 minutes late. Why are you late? Then throw chair at you or ask you to do push-ups. Yeah.
So it's like a military camp, or worse, a punishment, right? That is kind of a punishment. Even military camp don't do that.
Yeah.
Unless the person make a mistake.
They abuse their power. And like being late it's not a very grave mistake because we were just reporting to the office. You don't ask them to do push-ups. Like, what the heck is wrong with you, you know? Or like you don't throw chairs at them. And then he will brag about it like as if it's something nice.
And this behavior continued. Yeah. The management didn't do anything about it. Or he's the management. He's the boss.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was the one who dared to speak up and say, you have to stop this nonsense. And I didn't like that he will use the chance to bully them, knowing that they're soft-hearted, that they will do what he says. Like maybe it can be in terms of asking you to cook for him, clean for him, kind of thing. Yeah. So this is not even video production work already. This is like being his personal maid.
So that's not the behavior of a good leader, right, or a good manager. Yeah. Because I can see that sometimes, but I can also try to see from the position whereby some managers just don't know how to manage or lead.
Yeah.
Because they their own experience, right? They could come from a experience when they're junior, they are not properly managed or properly led. So when they themselves become manager, they also don't know how to manage their team properly, or they don't know how to lead the team properly.
Yeah. But what about you? What kind of manager or leader do you... I mean, I'm sure you've led based on... Because you had other experiences, right? I'm sure you were in a manager position before. Like, how exactly do you take care of your people?
My team.
Yeah, your team.
Okay, I think for me, because my first job, I did go through some really not very nice people. So I told myself that, if ever one day I get my promotion, I don't want to be like that. So it was very clear, right? I knew exactly what I don't want to be. So I told myself I want to be somebody who is encouraging, who is supporting, who is, think about my staff welfare, right? I mean, think about the kind of work environment that I like to be in, right? Like it's conducive, is welcoming, and it's open, is not, or rather, so that is the kind of work environment I want to be. So I create that kind of work environment for my staff. Yeah, but of course, thinking back, I just feel that maybe I need to be a little bit more assertive sometimes. I think I'm like a big teddy bear, right? Like I said, it's just a teddy bear. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes I think
as a manager, less fluffy.
Yeah, as a manager, we do need to be a little bit more assertive, right? But not fierce, not bullying, but assertive. Yeah. So
not mean
think,
also.
Yeah, not being mean, of course, but I think I struggle. Yeah.
You struggle with the being assertive part.
Yeah.
I think I'm slightly different than
Mhm.
you in terms of being like the kind of manager I am. So
Really?
yeah, I'm a very because I can be really straightforward.
Mm.
I try my best not to be mean, or I try my best not to put people down. Sometimes I
Mm.
can come across that way. But
Mm.
because I really just want what's best for the business or what's best for the project,
Mm.
the video. Because if a certain outcome needs to be done in a certain way, then I have to make sure that I will have that outcome that I
Mm.
want.
Mm.
And sometimes because most of my colleagues are like from friends, then we become colleagues, you know.
Mm.
So it can be really hard to draw the line,
Mm.
especially when they get really like personal about it when it comes to work, which I don't like. And once that
Mm.
happens, I will be really annoyed, because work is work at the end of the
Mm.
day. So the people I work with, I choose carefully. I will always set expectations in front, where work is work, and
Mm.
I can be really nasty about it sometimes, because
Mm.
I am a perfectionist and I have really high standards.
Mm.
Yeah.
So of course, expectation need to be understood. What is what, like you said, we all have our roles and responsibilities, and what is the expectation, right? What kind of performance we're expected to do, right? So sounds like you are more task focused. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you enough to know that you're not a mean person. Task focused, not necessarily being negative. Like for me, I'm more people focused.
Mm.
So I think a good manager need to have both. You need to be task focused. After all, we need to accomplish certain things.
Yeah.
But we also need to be people focused, because after all, we are working with people. Like we are
So
not
we
working
should merge into one person, so that will be the perfect manager then.
the perfect match. Yes, right. You need to have both, right? I mean,
Yeah.
earlier on, we talk about, manager, after all, they need to manage, they need to lead.
Mm-hmm.
However, a person who are being promoted, suddenly they have this title, manager, right? They also cannot become a good manager overnight, right? So
Yeah.
they also need to learn along the way.
Trainings is really
Yes,
important. So it really depends on whether the company will send these managers for trainings.
Yes. So again, that is, we also don't expect people to become good managers. So now we realize that you need both, right? Task focus and people focus. I was just
Yeah.
Googling, right?
Mm.
And I found this article on CNA, actually published on just yesterday, 21st of June 2021.
Oh, okay.
It actually says that it's actually under commentary, a list of top 50 worst bosses. Because usually, right, we always see like the top best company to work for, or the 50 best CEO. So and Glassdoor, it says that Glassdoor already have the list of best 50 CEOs. So maybe
Wow.
it's time to have 50 worst top 50 worst company to work for, but I think cannot. It's a bit tough. They probably will get sued. Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting article, right? It's
I
interesting.
love to read it.
Yeah. It's an interesting article. So just like anything, right? I mean, when it come to human behavior, there'll be the positive and the negative. So at the end of the day, is really the awareness of, if we encounter the negative, how are we going to react to it? Or are we not going to react to it? Or one day when we ourselves become manager, right? We're in the position of leadership. What kind of leader do we want to be? Yeah.
I guess to sum it all up, to be a good manager, there has to be a certain level of self-awareness as well, and the willingness to always learn to be better, but not be better than other leaders, but to be a better version of ourselves.
Yes, for sure, right? And I always say, do unto others how you want others to do unto you. Yeah. So if we want to be treated in a certain way, then that's the way we need to treat other people.
Yeah. Okay, so we've come to the end of our podcast. I hope you've enjoyed listening to to this episode, DM us on Instagram at itel.obpodcast or email us itelobpodcast@gmail.com. Bye.
Ciao, people. Have a good week. See you
Take
next
care.
week. Bye.